Recording. Okay, welcome everybody. This video, as you can tell from the screen, it says Common Errors in English 1 Writing. I've been teaching English 1 for a long time and I get lots of writing assignments from students. So I've made a list of the most common errors that I see. Now, maybe you're not an English 1 class watching this video, but that's okay. This holds true for many levels until you're very, very good at English. These are very common errors that I find in students' writing. So we're going to run through this and I will point out the errors and how to make them better. Okay. Remember, every sentence must begin with a capital letter and every sentence must begin and ends. Wait a minute, that's bad grammar right there. So let's see if we can fix it. Every sentence must, two things, right? Begin and end. That would be okay. Or you could say, remember, every sentence must begin with a capital letter, comma, and it, the sentence, and it ends with a period. Okay. If you don't know what this means, capital letter or period, ask. I think this is very basic, so skip it. Every clause we have talked, darn it. Oh yeah, I can use this program. Every clause must have a verb. Okay. Now remember, clauses, independent might be a sentence by itself. Dependent can't be a sentence, but still must have a verb. In this presentation, the underlined ones are problems. They are errors. So this says, I late for class. I see this so much. Where's the verb here? Late is not a verb. You need the verb, and usually the verb is be. But of course, you need to change it into I am, I was, I will be. Think about when you are talking about. I'm going to be, that's my plan. I think I will be. Usually people want to say I was. So what happened? So need a verb. What about this one? My mom watching TV. Watch is a verb, but watching is not. So what's missing here? Well, again, probably my mom was watching TV because here, when I got home, that's past tense. So usually it matches. My mom was watching. When you take a verb like watch and you put on ing, by itself, it's not a verb. Now it's usually like a noun. If you talk about running, run is a verb. But now running acts like a noun. Running is blah, blah, blah. Okay. So every clause must have a verb. Clear. Okay. But be careful if using two verbs together. Often the be verb is overused. I've seen this so many times too. Someone said, I was left the park. This is your main verb. I left the park. You don't need that one in here all the time. Now, sometimes it's true. I was left in the park by my parents. It could be this passive form. I was left there by my parents when they drove away. So it's possible. That's why you'll never see the red underline from your computer program showing you a problem, because it is possible. But usually, that's why I say be careful. If you, now, of course, after you write anything, you write it and then you go back and read it carefully. When reading it, if you see two verbs, then of course, think about it carefully. Is it correct? Or my other one that I thought of, I really like this one. It says, I am like pork. I am like pork. Dejigogi chodom ieo? I am like pork? No. Trying to say, Dejugogi joaheo. I like pork. So, no am there. Be careful using two verbs together. If you ever see it, think carefully. And then, speaking of verbs, as we know, verbs are very important. Verbs tell us the action of the sentence or the condition, action or condition. They also tell us when it happened or when it will happen. So here, wow, look at this half of a sentence. This dependent clause has several problems, right? First of all, I, always capital. But the main point here, the verb tense, when I am, oh no, high school student, in the past, finished. So, when I was. And then also, high school, I have highlighted here. High school, do you know why I highlighted it? Right now, it is not a problem, but many students make the problem of no space, and they make it like one word, and that's a problem. It sounds like one word when you say it. High school, high school, high school. It sounds like one two-syllable word, high school. But in writing, it's always two words. So check the verb tense, when I was. And then this sentence here, I love this sentence. Today, and then simple present is. I finally realized after many years of analysis, sad, I know, simple present tense is am or play or any simple present tense never gets used with today, because simple present tense is about when, usually every day, like that. So today is either right now, today I am hot. There's am. Right now, I am feeling hot. Well, hot is a bad one. It's not an action verb. But when you talk about like sleep, action, maybe, sleep. Today, I am sleeping. Right now, you can't sleep and write. Okay, talk. Here we go. Let's use talk. The word talk. The verb talk. Today I am talking right now, or today I will talk in the future, or today I talked in the past. But today I talk never works, because talk means usually every day. Okay. So check the verb tense. I go home early. What do you mean? I went in the past. I will go in the future. I am going right now. But it cannot be I go home early every time it is hot. We're talking about today. So check the verb tense always. Be careful using so before an adjective. It's a very informal style. Very informal. So when we're speaking, we use it a lot. But in writing, don't do it. I am so hungry every day. I am so hungry. If we do that, so plus any adjective, you need to follow with a consequence. That blah, blah, blah. I am so hungry that I could eat a horse. Yesterday was so hot that I melted. Something like that. When you use so plus adjective, it must be followed by that. What happened? What will happen? All right. So how can you change it? Let me change my color. I'm going to pick a nice blue. Of course, I am very hungry. But you don't want to use very too much. You could say, I am a little bit hungry. I am quite hungry. I am especially hungry today. I am particularly hungry. Okay, and then every day, again, it's yellow here. because it's not a problem, but it's a very common problem. Same problem. Many students have no space and make it one word every day. And that is a word. Every day is a word, but it's a different meaning than this. Every day as two words, meil. Every day means like very common, nothing special about it. My everyday shoes, my Sunday shoes, church shoes, like that. Okay, how we doing? 10 minutes in, we're good. Every day. Whenever you see so with an adjective, think about it. And you could probably put in very or somewhat, a little bit, quite would be better. Next. Every dependent clause, hopefully you know what that means, you remember that, must be in the same sentence as an independent clause. Oh, yes, a dependent clause cannot be a sentence by itself. It cannot connect to an idea back there over in another sentence. Dependent clauses have these subordinating conjunction. Connector word, it's connecting to the main idea, but it cannot connect to a different sentence. It must be in the same sentence. All right? And this is the biggest mistake. Students starting with because, trying to connect back here. Now, of course, words like therefore, however, then, those can connect to a different sentence, or they can be in the same sentence. You already know that. Okay. Oh, look at this too. I'm so hard. There's so before an adjective again. And I see this a lot. And this whole sentence I see a lot, and it's not accurate. I think you mean I am having a hard time. My life is hard. I'm hard means either physically my body, the muscles are like steel, or I'm hard kind of means I'm unfriendly, I'm unforgiving. Okay, so here you would get rid of the period, you do this and make a small b. I'm having a hard time. I'm struggling because I woke, right? I'm tired because I woke up early today. Something like that. Okay, every dependent clause must be, well, you know, every sentence must have an independent clause. So a dependent clause cannot be a sentence by itself. Okay, sometimes plural, more than one, is necessary. These are problems. On weekends, I often sing a song. If you say this, sing a song, that means one song. So it either means one song, the same song again and again and again and again, or it means I sing one song and stop. Same here, take a picture. Take one picture and then stop? Probably not. Uh-oh, I hear people in the hallway. Are they coming to kick me out? No, well, I'm safe. I didn't make a reservation for the room. I've gone rogue. Okay, so, of course, on weekends I often sing songs. I often take pictures. I like to read books, watch movies. Not one movie. I like to watch a movie. The same movie over and over. Watch movies. Next. Almost done here. Never start a sentence with especially. That's very much, in Korean you do 특히, I think. To start a sentence. Blah, 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 blah. That's fine in Korean, but in English we almost never do it. Especially goes in the middle of a sentence most of the time. Today I am especially tired, so blah, blah, blah. Or it goes like this. My brother wakes up late, especially on weekends, right? So, of course, you can use especially at the beginning of a sentence, but it's very rarely used that way in English. So just trust me and don't do it. Now you could say, send blah, 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 sentence. I especially like blah, blah, blah. Or the car is especially hot today. So, yeah, find a way around it. Just don't start with especially. I see it very, very often, so that makes it a problem. I like this one a lot. Almost people like bananas. Not the same as most people. What does this mean, almost people? Almost people. It means not people, but close. I think almost people means like very smart monkeys. Very smart monkeys. They're not people, but they're almost people. No, this is what you want to say usually. Most people that I know. Most of the people in my class. Most people. Or you could say almost all of the people, almost all of the students, almost all students in my class make this mistake, right? Now, of course, you can say almost everyone. That's okay. But almost people, almost students, no. Usually you want to say this, most people, most students in my class. Okay, I think that's the end of these common problems. Let me hit the button and make sure. Yes, that's the end. So these are the very common errors that I find. These are the very common errors, so something to think about. Of course, whenever you write sentences or a paragraph or whatever, you write it, and then you're going to go back and read it carefully and look for problems like this. You're going to maybe ask a friend, here, please read this, and see if there are problems. Okay, thank you for watching this. And now you're ready to write good sentences and paragraphs. 18 minutes now.